So, if you didn't think this was great, I guess you can say that you weren't in love with this movie. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about a newer VOD release, Anais in Love. Before we begin, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, or if you were planning on seeing it. And make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my content out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with more movie-related content like romance reviews on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Anais in Love. This stars Anais Demoustier as the title character. A 30-year-old woman that's broke and has a lover she doesn't think she loves anymore. She then meets Daniel, who immediately falls for her, but Daniel lives with Emilie, who Anais also falls for. This is written and directed by Charlene Bourgeois-Taquet, and it had a limited theatrical release in late April, followed by a VOD release in early May. And this was a film initially nowhere on my radar, but when I heard about it, the main hook for me was the fact that it was repeatedly described as something akin to The Worst Person in the World, a film that I quite enjoyed. And upon watching this, I can certainly see where those similarities come from. There are definitely some parallels between Anais and Renata Reinsve's Julie from Worst Person. Both are around 30, they can be quite impulsive and they don't have their lives quite together, and both films primarily focus on their ever-shifting love lives. Plus, the tone of this film can feel very reminiscent to Worst Person at times, where it can be quite whimsical 1 minute and it moves things along at a nice, brisk pace, but it also has a bit more of a somber side where we explore thematically rich elements, in this case being how our worldview is shaped based on what point in our lives we are. And that's especially explored in the contrast between Anais and both Daniel and Emilie, who are both considerably older than her. Though I'd say that's where the similarities between this and Worst Person end. In terms of tone, while Worst Person leans a lot more into its darker elements, I'd say Anais in Love mostly goes for the whimsical, carefree approach with a lower stakes feel for much of the runtime. And we especially see that in our title character herself, who's very impulsive and spontaneous. She tends to go with her gut reaction with just about everything, and even though she gets pulled in many different directions, she'll actively try pursuing said gut reaction, usually to a fault. Like upon meeting Emilie, she's instantly head over heels, and despite having just started this affair with Daniel, she almost immediately switches gears and she becomes absolutely relentless in her pursuit of Emilie. On top of that, she also has an issue when it comes to balancing her time, as she's also trying to write a dissertation that goes nowhere while also caring for her mother who has cancer. And because of the amount of different directions she tends to go in, it keeps the film moving along nicely as you're moving through so many different situations and you're never in one spot for too long, mimicking the character's state of mind. Anais Demoustier is great as the title character in a very physical, expressive performance that manages to exude a nice charm all through the character's more narcissistic tendencies, as Anais, the character, can sometimes be so wrapped up in her own feelings that she tends to not see things through others' point of view. And I like this journey of her going from being a straight-up narcissist to eventually gaining some perspective, as this journey of learning to see things from others' points of view is something we can all relate to, even if we don't learn it in as quite as harsh of a way as she does. However, because Anais' more grating qualities, which are in full force for a good chunk of the runtime, can definitely feel like a bit much, that's also what prevented me from straight up loving this movie. Now, a lot of her more selfish antics are played for laughs quite often, and they are funny, if not laugh out loud hilarious all the time, and we do see her mellow out as things go on. However, because she doesn't have the greatest sense at how others might feel, and she tends to be relentless when pursuing sometimes the worst possible decisions, such as the ways in which she finds an excuse to be near Emilie, it doesn't always make her the most sympathetic character to follow. It makes for a very real character, but that doesn't always translate to sympathetic. And for some, I can see that getting a little grating, and understandably so, especially given this is the title character we're talking about. But these interactions, at the same time, do feel organic. Like I said, these feel like very real people we follow, and I bet we've all met someone similar to Anais at one point or another. And because of that, along with the humorous interactions, and because of how thematically rich it gets as we get to the latter part of the film, maybe you will find yourself in the camp of loving this. Like, from what I've seen in more art house film circles, there are those who really did love this. But for me, while I definitely like the film and I think it's worth watching and I understand exactly what it was going for, it's still just hard for me to love it when the title character constantly acts the way she does here. Anais in Love is a brisk, whimsical little romantic comedy that also doesn't shy away from more thematically rich elements regarding how we view the world from different stages of our lives. And because the film found a way to blend the two together nicely, with plenty of laughs to go along with its more emotional material, I had a good enough time with it. That being said, while I'm definitely recommending the movie, and I thought Anais Demoustier as the title character gave a great performance, it's just worth keeping in mind that this character can be a bit much, and that can make or break the movie for some. And because of that, that prevented me from loving the movie, but I got what it was going for, and I still think it's worth checking out. Anais in Love gets a 7 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Anais in Love, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like these characters, and how did it compare to Worst Person in the World for you? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.